opposing beliefs together. These discussions may contain viewpoints that are the result of misinformation. Remember to seek out experts and to be critical of your own biases while forming an opinion. Please see the humanity in each participant, and as always, we encourage empathy.
You have to understand you're redefining a fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where it is today.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect, and it's been led by men like throughout all of history, and look where it's gone.
Just looking at the definition of the term 50 years ago, you had people like John Wayne, you had Martin Luther King, you had Sean Connery. You think of like masculine features as in beards, hairy chests, big muscles, being stoic, being brave, being rugged, being a provider. Today you have, people like Harry Styles and Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, so the question is masculinity is disappearing in America. I said the question, the topic, I mean. Masculinity is disappearing in America. I agree with that actually. I actually do think masculinity is being looked down upon as time goes on. During these days, with the whole LBGTQ community and as Dave Chappelle likes to refer to them, the alphabet people. You get what I'm saying? These type of people have changed society in a very big way. And not in a good way. Definitely not in a good way. So, yeah.
Things I tell young men, well, young women as well. But the young men really need to hear this more.
My boy Jordan Peterson. I feel like most people in America in today's age are like sheep now. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hurt the trans people's feelings. They don't want to hurt any of the LGBTQ people's feelings. Because they feel like if they do, they're going to get bashed, canceled. You know what I'm saying? But the way I look at it is, right, in life, nobody cares about your feelings. You can't force someone to feel a certain type of way about you. You could be the nicest person in the world, but I bet you that there's going to be at least one person or more out there that's not going to like you. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just how human beings are at our nature, at our core. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to be disliked by somebody. But like I said, these trans people, man, they like to use their emotions and they like to be all emotional to achieve their goals. And unfortunately, it's been working.
That men can be women and women can be men if I use the pronouns that they want. I do see that masculine.
So, wait, hold on.
Under attack completely, but my definition of masculinity, like you said, has a lot to do with the traits that are.
So this dude right here is gay. You know what I'm saying? That dude right there, he's gay. Now, I'm not. First of all, I don't even like the term homophobic because if you actually look up the definition of the word phobia, phobia literally means to have an irrational fear of something. I do not have an irrational fear of homosexuals. I don't. I'm not scared of gay people. I'm not scared of trans. I'm not scared of none of those people. You get what I'm saying? I see those people in the street all the time. I don't fear them. When I see them, I don't start panicking and freaking out. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me. But, that's why I just don't like it when people use transphobic and homophobic. I just don't like those terms, man. But, like I was saying about this dude right here, from what I've heard that he makes some really good points in this video. So, let's see what he has to say.
Associated with it as a gay man, I mean, of all of us, I'm not the most masculine man, but I do think that the good aspects of masculinity are definitely under attack, but I don't think that it's disappearing. It's just being channeled in different ways.
It depends on how you look at it, because a lot of the traits can also be embodied in women and in femininity. So when we look at masculinity, I think that we have to also look at what is the actual definition of femininity and masculinity, and if we're defining masculinity by being stoic or muscles or body parts, then is it really masculinity?
A lot of times,
Bro, see, this is what I'm talking about, bro. And this is coming from a trans person. Like, that's why I can't really take trans people serious, because you as a trans man, you're not gonna know what masculinity is because you're a trans person. You're not a real man. You're not a man. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You could do all that hormone stuff. You can change your body parts. You could do all that. You're still not gonna be a man at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like what I'm also starting to notice is that these trans people, they're coming off as very emotional. While the real masculine men, which is the ones that they're having a conversation with, they're the ones that are having a more logical take to it, which is how a masculine man is supposed to be. Not emotional, but more logical and just straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? While the trans men, they're like in their feelings. Like you get what I'm saying? They're like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know why they're in their feelings? Is because at the end of the day, they're not men. They're on a biological level, they're still females. So that's why they're being emotional. You get what I'm saying? It's not that hard to understand.
masculinity associated with men being manly, but I think more women are embracing their masculinity. Masculinity's still there. I mean, just
He's saying that as if that's a good thing. Like it's good. It's good for a woman to embrace masculinity. That's not a good thing. A woman should not embrace masculinity. It is not okay for a woman to be masculine because that's not within her role. A man is supposed to be masculine, and then a woman is supposed to be feminine. It's not supposed to be the other way around, because that's where things get dysfunctional. You know what I'm saying? Because the woman is outside of her role and the man is outside of his role. You get what I'm saying? It is not okay for a woman to be masculine. It's just not. It's outside of her role. That's not how a woman should be. A woman should be 100% feminine. Feminine, not masculine. There's nothing okay with a woman being masculine, bro. You get what I'm saying? You can't have a masculine woman and a masculine man in a relationship. It's just not going to work. Eventually, that relationship is going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart, man. It's going to fall apart.
other genders are using it. Being courageous, being powerful, more women are standing in their power, which is again associated with masculine, but it's not specific to just men. Women are no longer submissive, they're dominant. Women don't need men, and I think that most of America's real.
That's not, and see, and that's the thing. That's not good. You know, he's talking as if that's a good thing. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that a woman can't be empowered. Nobody's saying that. But a woman should not feel the need to be dominant in a relationship, because that's not within her role as a woman. She should not be dominant in the relationship. The man is supposed to be the dominant one in the relationship, while the woman is loving and submissive. That's the role in a woman, while the man is the leader and the dominant figure, while the woman is the loving figure and the submissive. You get what I'm saying? That's how you have a good relationship right there. A woman that knows her role and a man that knows his role. You can't go wrong there. You can't. But when you have a trans person trying to tell you about masculinity, it's like it's just not gonna work because they're trans. Like, you're not a man. So how you gonna tell me, a real biological man, about masculinity when you're not even a man yourself? It's just not gonna work.
Anyone can be powerful on their own.
I believe that the masculine traits are inherently in men, and men have to take a position. You made a really good point by saying women are now becoming more masculine and they feel as if they don't need men, which I think is the problem here.
That is
I
the
think
problem. That's the
designed
problem.
by God, in my opinion, is that men are to lead, men are to be strong,
Exactly.
men are to be brave. Men have to take their rightful position. The way our country has been structured to this point have been because of strong men who have taken a stand, who have fought wars. Now I feel like it's getting so lopsided that our families are degrading. People don't know where they're at in this country.
Now in 2022, masculinity is being redefined. And I think what happens is people get upset when things start to change. No, I think that nobody ever wants to take that away from men. I think that what we want to do in the world now is start to understand what is masculinity. And it's always been really associated with this very machismo space. And now there's different kinds of men in the world. There's not just biological men. There's also trans men or people who just want to be masculine. So I think what's happening now is people are pushing against change because change is scary and people don't understand.
It's not about people pushing against change. It's about people trying to defy reality. That's what it's about. It's not about people being scared of change. I'm not scared of change, but I just don't like people who are illogical and try to defy reality. And basically, their way of defying reality is they're trying to make it seem as if being masculine is not an inherent thing, which it is. Masculinity is an inherent thing that is naturally inherent in men. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, like, it's not like a woman doesn't just inherently become masculine. That, like, you're not gonna, that just doesn't happen. You get what I'm saying? So, like,
Understand. And so I think men, biological men, feel under attack when I think that's not what's happening here.
The point is,
man, and another thing, right? You saw what you heard what he just said. He just said biological men feel like they're under attack. I don't feel like I'm under attack at all because, like I said, I know what I am. You get what I'm saying? And you trans people do not intimidate me at all. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say that it is scary how, you know, these trans men, they are changing the minds of a lot of people in society into thinking that their way of thinking or their ideologies are the right way to think when it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's just not.
that you made is 100% correct. There are different phases and people are experiencing in different ways. The feminist movement is, I think they are attacking masculinity within me. I don't want a man to open the door for me. I don't need a man in my life. I can do all these different things. What they're doing is attacking men, and that's what's causing the problem.
What part of the feminist group feels like it's attacking? Because I know that most feminism is like wanting equal pay or
Well, you just said that women not needing men is somehow empowering. You know, having a man is somehow less empowering, or being an individual is somehow
Mhm.
less
That's how
empowering.
women feel.
Right.
Women actually are saying that because that's how they feel inside.
But that's not how every woman feels.
But
That-
no
that's
one's saying
just-
that.
Exactly.
They're only women speak for themselves. So
Right.
all of you are going to have different opinions as biological men. Women all have different opinions. Oh, you see a very specific group of women saying
I mean, you did just say that's how women feel. So are you speaking on behalf of all?
no. I'm not. Let me take that back. The women who are saying that feel that way.
Why do you feel that women in general feel disempowered?
No, I don't think in general. No. That's a generalized statement. I can't.
Bro, you see, this is why I can't take these trans people serious. He literally just said all women feel this way. He literally just said that, right? And then when the dude with the glasses is trying to clarify why he feels like that, he's trying to deny that he ever said it. You get what I'm saying? This is what I'll be telling y'all, man. These trans people don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? They really don't know what they're talking about. And you know why? Because they are confused about their own self. They don't even know who they really are themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like having a conversation like this with trans people is like pointless. You're not gonna get anywhere. You're just not. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can't say that. I said
You're the one-
women. No, I
you
did
said
not. I said the women who say that.
You associated somehow.
Yeah, which is a generalized statement.
Which means that they're not more empowered because they don't need
they don't need a man.
Or
Men feel empowered when women need
But
a
I
man.
don't think that the women's empowerment comes from having a man or not having a man. So why is it always associated that, a woman's now empowered because she doesn't need a man? A woman has always been empowered. Women have never,
Exactly.
but they never felt that.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
if
not
we go
true.
back to the 1920s, if you're going to do that, but that's not
But
what
of course,
we're talking about society right now.
right now, you actually think women are empowered right now?
Absolutely, women are
Exactly.
empowered.
He's the vice president. And how long did it take for her to become a vice president?
You know what I've noticed too? The trans men, they're more emotional, right? And the conservative men, or the biological men, right? So us, they're more logical. You know what I'm saying? They're taking it from a more logical standpoint. They're not in their feelings like the trans men are. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they're in their feelings is because these dudes used to be women. They're women on biological levels. These are females. These are not men. You get what I'm saying? These are females that have went through surgeries and all type of stuff to transition themselves into appear like men, but they're not men. You get what I'm saying? So, you know,
There is a right and wrong way to be a man.
there is a right and wrong
Take
way
a
to
second
be a
to think about
man.
it.
What do you want?
You see
Want
what
a
they try to
job
do?
that
They
I
try to like
need.
trick you up there. They going crazy with these ads. Yeah, honestly, I do think there
I
is
think
a
that
right
when I
and
originally heard the question being
um
asked, I didn't agree with it. But men are not abusive individuals. Men are not to be cowards. Men
yeah,
are to lead their families. And
exactly.
men who do not display that, I don't believe that they are men, in my opinion. And all of the qualities that I see in my father is what I believe a man should be.
All of those characteristics are what make a man. And when I see a man be a coward in the truth and in just speaking the truth or sticking up for what's right, especially today in America with everything going on, I'm like, those are not men. My
Yeah.
name's Clarkson. I'm 24 years old and I'm a conservative man. My biggest question for the other side really is, are you happy? Anybody that wants to fundamentally change society and change gender roles, to me that's not happiness. And if we want to fight for acceptance, we need to start with acceptance, which is accepting society for what it is.
At the end of the day, we're all men, and I don't believe there's any wrong way to be a man. We're just redefining what it means to be a man.
But there are things that naturally come to men.
Mhm.
So when you say
Exactly.
redefining what being a man is, you have to understand.
I was just about to say that too. Like, you can't redefine what a man is. Like, you can't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are stuff that just comes naturally to men that a trans person would never be able to comprehend or understand because they are not men. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's just not gonna work. You get what I'm saying? You can't redefine what a man is. Like, just hearing him say that is just crazy to me. Like,
You're
Like,
redefining
what
the
the-
fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where
exactly.
it is
Like,
today.
what are you
Like,
talking
Abel
about?
growing up, oh, well, we're just redefining what it is to be a man.
You can't
That's
do
not just
that.
like a light subject that we should be talking about.
But why do they have to stay the same? Why do we need to have the same thing for hundreds and hundreds of years?
Do you not see the
It's
state
not the
of?
same thing. It's just
Just saying.
keeping the same qualities.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect. It's been led by men like throughout all of history, and look where it's gone.
So we're talking about redesigning what it means to be a man. So what do you want to bring to traditional men?
I think it's embracing that you can be vulnerable. I think that a lot of men want to portray strength, 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 but men are people, and I know that men have feelings.
Being a man and masculinity, those are two.
Oh man, see, that's the problem with a lot of these trans dudes. They're coming from very emotional like takes, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them are being very emotional about it. Like, of course men have a right to show emotion. Nobody's saying a man just has to be, you know, like serious all the time, but a man should only be emotional in certain situations. So God forbid if a family member of yours was to pass away, then as a man you have every right to be emotional in that situation. But if you are getting emotional because, I don't know, your girlfriend broke up with you or something like that, that's not something you should be crying over. I'm sorry. As a grown man, you should not be crying over something like that. That's not, I'm sorry, but it's not okay to cry over something like that. Come on, bro. As a man, you need to get over that. And that's not something to get emotional about. You know what I'm saying? Now, God forbid if, one of your parents were to pass away, or one of your siblings that you were close to were to pass away, and you get emotional about that, then of course you have every right to get emotional about that, because that is a family member. That is someone you spent your entire life with, and you are connected to through blood. You know what I'm saying?
And I believe that we can redefine whatever that means to anybody by including other types of
No, you
men,
cannot. You cannot redefine masculinity, bro.
some people
You
would
can't
disagree
do
with me
that.
being a father because I am transgender. But that being said, I present to the world as male. My child sees me as a man.
There's proper ways to be vulnerable, right?
See, and that's another thing too. Like, you see, he just said that he's a father. He's a transgender man, but he's a father. So it's like, ooh, like, how does that work? Because on a biological level, you're not a man. You're a woman. You know what I'm saying? You just made yourself to appear like a man, but you're not really a man. You get what I'm saying? So how are you going to teach your son or instill masculine traits onto your son, right? Or teach your son how to be masculine if you're not even a man yourself, and you yourself don't even know what it means to really be a man, because you're not a man. You get what I'm saying? How does that work? Now listen, I'm not, bashing him or anything. I'm just saying, I'm just wondering, like, how is that gonna work? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know the answer. It wouldn't work, obviously, but I just want to see how he would go about that.
You don't have to break down in front of your family and cry. It's okay to suffer silence as well. Strong men, I believe,
Exactly.
exude the qualities that you guys are referring to. I think the problem is overcorrection, right? Some people believe that men need to cry and lay on the ground and be feminine, like women. My name is Brandon.
No,
I'm
that's
34
not how
years
men
old,
should be.
and I'm a conservative man. I had a lot of curiosities about
I don't know
what
why
it's
people
like
think
to
that.
be
That's
a
weird.
person who believes that they're a trans man. I feel like God has created all of us very uniquely, and although I have beliefs and I follow the Bible to the T, I still want to know from other people what their experiences are. Doesn't mean I have to agree, but I really want to know what other people are feeling from the person who's experiencing it real time.
I have male privilege.
Of course they go. Of course they sit down. You have male privilege.
Both lives, and prior to transitioning, I would work just as hard, if not harder, for the same position and not be considered. The minute that I transitioned, I am immediately taken more seriously. I can give you an example. Obviously, with COVID, there's like the mask mandate, right? So I have to tell customers all the time they need to be above your nose, right? The whole day. My manager, who's above me, who is a woman, will have to go to them, tell them to give her a fight. But the minute I just look in their direction, it's up. It doesn't seem like a privilege, but it is, because now my manager has to work 3 times harder for something that's so simple.
I think the word privilege is the thing that turns a lot of people off with this conversation. But that being said, again, myself living my life as a female, pretty much half my life, and then now half my life as a man, there is no way I could not be honest about the fact that my life has changed drastically. Also, being a white man, that's also a conversation a lot of people don't want to have. But I have privilege of being white and privilege also of being a man now. I can walk into any room and command that room in a heartbeat because people just do that with men. And I think the thing is that biological men are born into that space, so they'll never ever see it. Why do we now, as women who have become men, get to have this thing? It's 100% because we are men. We look like men. Nobody would ever know. No one would ever know that we used to be women. So it's actually a real lived experience.
So, hello.
Crazy.
Men, they've died in the hundreds of thousands. Men commit suicide more. Men work more the dangerous jobs. You know, if somebody broke in this place right now, who are they going to expect to defend everybody in here? It's going to be the men. If your family fails, they're not looking at your wife. They're not. They're looking at the man. You know, I just want people to understand it. There's some advantages that men have, and also men do struggle in custody and all kinds of
I
different
know,
things.
100%. I 100% agree with you as a man now, right? But what I think my perception of it is different than yours because you were born male, you were raised male, you have a whole other space in that, and I totally respect your opinion on that, and I believe that that is true lived experience as a born man.
Yeah, and let me add with the black man because
Yeah.
we have a total different reality in it. I don't, in no way, form, or fashion do I go into a room and I feel like I'm less than. I think I command presence when I go into a room because the way I'm dressed and I'm tall. I go in the streets. I've never had a person cross the street. I've never been attacked by a police officer. I was a police officer. You know, I've been pulled over probably 3 times in my entire life.
I mean, my biggest question with this and why I don't necessarily agree with it is because when it comes to privilege, there's not really a way to quantify it. It's very subjective. So, like, your version of male privilege and your version of male privilege are very different.
So it's hard to see the other side because you never lived it.
Yeah.
The difference between you and us is we see it because we've lived it. You have not. So it's easy to speak and be like, well, it doesn't exist. Well, how would you know?
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't.
Look, you see how feminine and emotional he's being? Like, and that's because this is a woman. This is actually a woman. This is not a man. You get what I'm saying? He's being logical. He was just stating a point. He wasn't being emotional. He wasn't giving them an attitude or none of that. You know what I'm saying? He was just clarifying a point. Now, this trans man, he's being emotional. He's moving his head a lot when he's talking, like just, doing the normal things that a woman would do in a conversation, because that's how females act. And that's the woman in him. That's the woman in him. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, this is not a man. This is a woman. So it's like,
Exist. I think everybody has certain privileges, but what I think the question here is what defines male privilege over women? Because women have privileges too.
Exactly.
Is there a graph that you guys are calculating to make men have more than women, or what?
The privilege is not acknowledging what you have that comes so easy.
So do you think that your fear, because you live both sides,
Right.
you think your fear is something that you have in your mind, or you think it's
No.
a reality? Because no, let me say this: you never really changed as a person. You're the same person.
Right,
that you
exactly.
were. So you have the same physical capabilities that you did
No.
when you were a woman.
No.
You don't.
My strength is entirely different.
What percentage would you say?
More than 100%.
Okay,
I weigh
so,
like
but you're still
100
not,
pounds.
you're still not probably as strong as me.
But it's not about strength. It's that
Or-
women are targeted. Men are not targeted. I mean, maybe sometimes. When I say it's never going to
They're
happen.
targeted by other men.
Right. But women are targeted by other men.
oh man, see, this is what I'm talking about. Men are not targeted. Is he serious? Well, is she serious, I should say? Because this is really a woman. This is not a man. But, to say that men are not targeted is very ignorant. It's a very ignorant way of thinking. But, like I said, that woman in him is making him being very emotional. You get what I'm saying? He's taking an emotional approach to the conversation, which is not really helping him at all.
And I think women have less of a safe space.
I
That's what I'm
disagree.
talking about.
Men don't have a safe space. If you go to certain
But I'm talking
cities,
about
they get murdered.
okay,
by
but I'm
other
not talking
men.
about certain cities. I'm
Or
talking
so.
about everyday life.
Yeah, every day. I
Not
think that's a
certain
that's a
cities.
Have
blended
you ever been attacked as a woman?
I have. I've been raped. I've been attacked. I can go on and on and on. I was homeless, living in the streets, raped all the time. It happened. It's a real thing. I didn't see the guys on the street getting raped, but you
But
go.
men do get raped.
100%. The experience.
Do you get catcalled down the street? Like,
I mean, women say things to me when I was a
Do you
police
feel-
officer.
you feel threatened? You feel empowered though, right?
No, I don't feel. I feel that's.
But do you feel scared? Do you feel threatened when a woman
But
catcalls you?
no, I don't. But I don't feel threatened if a man
Right.
try to
Because
challenge.
you have that male privilege.
Right. As a woman,
What if a man
It's not about having male privilege. What are they talking about, bro? It like
on the street?
I've had it. Whistle to me.
How does that make you feel?
I don't care. I mean, don't touch me.
Like, what the hell? Are they serious with these questions?
It's cool.
I think women also the same thing. As long as you're not like trying to be predatory, and I've seen it because I go to clubs with my friends who are girls, and I have to tell the men.
Of course,
leave them
you know what I'm
alone,
saying?
Keep going.
He don't got no guy friends. You could just
Scouting out
tell.
women that are drunk or whatever, not even drunk. She could say no 1,000 times, and they're still gonna bother her. But the minute that I say something, they stop.
Women are not as strong as men, and they get targeted.
Oh,
That is
boy.
privilege that men have over women, but that doesn't mean that men have privilege because of that one situation. Men commit suicide way more than women do.
That is true.
Because if
That
we're
is
gonna go
true.
route,
That
trans
is.
men commit suicide twice.
No,
Twice the
right,
rate.
but that's not.
Oh
I
my
think what's
gosh,
important
bro.
is to distinguish the fact that yes, no one is negating the fact that women can get preyed on. You know, there's situations where this happens, right? Like no one's gonna deny that. But we're also just trying to say that it's not like a one-sided coin here, where there's no like men are just we just have it good and we can do whatever we want.
I do
We
not
can't
believe
even be the next Supreme Court justice. 'Cause it's like
But again, I live as a man, so I see the difference.
Yeah.
When I said I have privilege and I walk into a room, of course. But then there's other things that are expected of me now as a man that I would never knew were expected.
So would you guys agree that that there's such thing as female privilege?
Oh, sure, 100%.
My wife has privilege because she has me.
That's right.
She don't have to worry about her safety because I'm there.
I don't believe that as a man, it's like, there's marketing for women-owned brands. I can't, like I said, can't be the next Supreme Court justice. Like women are very much more empowered today, which I think is, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, like, good for you. But I think that the man I probably have privilege because I'm, 6'2", 210. Like no one's picking on me when I walk down the street. I used to live in Chicago and I used to walk home all the time at night, but like, was that smart? Probably not, but I felt a little safe because, I'm not 5 foot 100 pounds. I'm Max, I'm 29, and I'm a conservative man. In today's society, women and men can be whatever.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the video right there. The video's kind of getting a little bit too long, but this is just a part 1. I'm gonna react to the whole video. This is just part 1. I'm gonna upload part 2 on the next day, and then yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed the reaction. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later, man.